What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins, West Ham Fan TV. Morning after the game before. Sheffield United obviously beating us 1-0 last night. Watched the game. I thought we'd done okay, to be quite honest with you. I think the three reasons we lost that game: the goalkeeper's mistake, obviously, the pass, which was inexplainable. He done well in the end, and I think it'd be a bit harsh done by to just blame Martin for that, because he kept us in the game eventually. And I know people might say I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I've been so critical of Roberto, but it just shows you how important like a top quality goalkeeper is, and how important it is now to get in Randolph, seeing as Fabianski is going to be, looks like, out for a little while again. I think we've rushed him back too quickly, really, but needs must at the end of the day. Our inability to make decisions in the final third, some of the inexplicable times we gave the ball away, especially with our crossing, frequently, time and time again. Inability of players to pick the right decision, to pick the right pass, lack of quality until Snodgrass come on. I think was, it's poor for people that are training every day and earning so much money. You can let one or two go, but it was every delivery until Snodgrass come on. There was no quality, and I'm not having a go at Sheffield United. I think it was a good game. I think I think a draw would have been a fair result. I think both teams they went for it. As I said, I didn't think our play was that bad. But the main reason we've lost that game is we score an equaliser in the 92nd minute, and they review it on VAR, and it's hit Declan's hand in the build-up. I mean, when I say hit Declan's hand, the geezer headed it at his arm, like from point-blank range. There's nothing you can do about that. And the thing is, I'm not going to have a go at Sheffield United for celebrating it. I know a lot of people have done that. I'm not going to have a go at VAR even for picking it up. But the rule that if it hits your hand in the build up to a goal is such a joy suck. I mean, it's not intentional. It's so obvious it's not intentional. If that had been a penalty given or something like that, they probably wouldn't have reviewed it because it didn't lead to a goal. If Declan Rice smashes that at the defender's hand in the box, he doesn't give it as a penalty. You got the Virgil van Dijk thing a couple of weeks ago for Liverpool, where it blatantly hit his hand before Liverpool scored, and they never gave that. The inconsistencies, but it's not anybody's fault. It's not the referee's fault for giving it. It's not VAR's fault for seeing it. The people who sit there in in the offices of the FA, whoever makes the rules, who are sitting there going, what would be a good idea if we implement this rule. It's such a killjoy, such a suck, a joy suck. It makes the game worse, and I can't explain a rule like that because it's not intentional. You can see it's not intentional. You haven't got a chance to get your arms out of the way. What do you expect these people to do? When you're running in a forward momentum, your arms are swinging around. If someone smashes the ball with your hand, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't get it out of the way. And as I said, the rule differs in different parts of the pitch, from different phases of play. A brilliant finish by Snodgrass to score that equaliser. Great piece of play by West Ham. Laid it into him brilliantly by Rice. And you've been robbed in the 92nd minute of some excitement by some fucking bigwigs that are sitting in an office somewhere making up rules that just don't improve the game. You need to improve the product. Benefit of the doubt should be given to the attacking player in that instance. It's inexplicable. Like, the rule is a fucking joke. You can't change it now because we're halfway through the season and people have lost points and stuff because of it. But whoever sat there in that office and decided this rule was one, you know. And you see, like last year, yeah, I can understand if you're bundling it in with your hands and all that sort of thing, and like if you score directly off your hands. But in the build up, when someone's smashing the ball at your arm, what are you going to do? You're going to fucking start tying people's hands behind their back. How do you expect people to get it out of the way? You can't. It's inexplicable. He hasn't done it intentionally. He hasn't knocked it on or tried to gain an advantage. He's just been his arms in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's inexplicable. And there was a lot of work to do after that as well. And I tell you what, the people that we are the only country in this in this sort of world of football, really, that has that rule where an accidental handball is a handball. Absolute joke. And I tell you what, if we end up going down by a couple of points this year, or it ends up costing someone, you know, their place, you know, I know it's the rules, but how is it fair? How is it fair when you've got so many inconsistencies? You know, as I say before, the Van Dijk one a couple of weeks ago, you know, it was quite similar to the Antonio one at Chelsea. That obviously didn't cost us the game. We won the game in the end. But when you've got a decision like that and a rule like that costing you 2 points, it's inexplicable and it's sucking the joy out of the game. And the game is fucking going southwards as it is, with the money involved in it. And, you know, all them fans at Sky lugged up to that on a Friday night with no trains back and had to book, you know, it ended up being the onus to West Ham to get everyone home on coaches, and then a rule like that robs you of you know, at least feeling decent. I'm sorry, but that's not football to me. I'm quickly falling out of love with this game, and they really need to revise the rules. As I say, we've got some tough games coming up now. We're only 2 points above the relegation zone with teams to play again now. We play Everton next week, and then we go to the likes of, you know, we play the likes of Liverpool, Man City, and Leicester all in a row. It's just a bit sickening. I feel a bit bitter, and it's, you know, as I say, I don't blame Sheffield United. Sheffield United are 5th in the league. They're doing brilliantly. I think they're quite a credit to this league, and they'll stay up and all of that sort of stuff. And I don't blame their fans for celebrating. Who I do blame is the fucking people that thought this was a good idea to implement these rules. And we're not the only ones that have been affected by it. There are other teams that have been affected by it. I'm sure there will be other teams that are affected by it since. But you're making the product worse. You're making the game worse. You're sucking the joy out of it. You're robbing it of goals and last-minute equalisers. And that's not football. That's not football. When the game is different from one place to another. So when I've always said this, like with the introduction of VAR, if you can't have it on a Sunday league pitch, it shouldn't be implemented in football. Simple as that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Build up to the Everton game, I suppose, and hope we get some points there. Thanks, guys. Come on, your hands.